Hello, we will be talking about sustainability. So, what is sustainability? Sustainability, in a broad sense, is here the capacity to endure. And in ecology, the word describes how biological systems remain diverse and productive over time. See here. Something remains the same over time. For humans, long term maintenance of well being. So sustainability is a broad discipline composed of three pillars: social equity, economic viability, and environmental protection. So our project might focus only on one aspect, which is social, because it's for education. However, we cannot ignore the other two aspects of the sustainability if we want to have a project sustainable. So a simple example for Bright here, we will tackle social equity through gender-based education project. So let's see the relationship between social and economy. So few questions to ask to make sure that project is implemented in a sustainable way and we want to achieve equitable education outcome. But so here are a few questions. So how can we make sure that no financial burden is laid on parents to send their children to school? And the second one is, how can we make sure that children will have free or almost free access to school or education without financial burden? And the third question, how can we make sure that Bright Project doesn't give negative financial pressure on parents in order to support their children? And the fourth one, how can we directly or indirectly support parents to have means to support their children's education? So here you will see that to achieve social equity, we need to pay attention to economic aspect as well. So that is where the role of livelihood component will come in. And then again, let's see the relationship between economy and environment. So earlier I have mentioned negative financial pressure. So what do I mean by this? So when parents are pressured with financial needs, environment will suffer. For example, they will cut trees to make charcoals and sell it, or they will cut trees for firewood, for selling maybe, or for household consumption. So, and another example, livelihood training. So maybe we will be providing girls and women with like charcoal making training, bricks making training, but if it's not managed well, it does harm to the environment. So it's really important to identify livelihood training that will do no harm to the environment. And sustainability, here is another definition, but this is the most frequent quoted definition, and it's from UN World Commission on Environment and Development. So it focuses on meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. So a simple but good example I can give is fishing practice. Imagine in a fishing community, fishers do fishing using trawls. Trawl is a huge and heavy net reaching down to the bottom of the water, and it drags everything. So you can catch from smallest to the biggest size, but not just fishes, but also other marine resources such as coral, seagrasses, and also many beautiful species are caught in the net. Yes, fishers are happy because they caught a lot of fish and also they earn for the family. However, fish habitats are destroyed because fishes, they lay egg in coral, seagrasses area, and also they multiply there. So this fishing practice is not sustainable because it leads to degradation and scarcity of marine resources. And then future generations suffer from the decline of fish catch, or they even didn't catch fish anymore. And sustainability, this is another definition. And here you will see sustainability means all your hard work has long-term value for your community. And sustainability is about maintaining and continuing program services after the funding period is over. This is from American Indian Development Association. So here we see long-term value, maintaining and continuing. All these are the concepts of sustainability. So for Bright, we need to focus on long-term value. And it's not that we do a great job, but everything will stop when the project is over. So this should not be the case. So our planning and implementation should consider what and how to do so that what we have started will not just end after 4 years, but will continue beyond the life of the project. So important points here. Acceptance of the design and innovations of the project is the key to sustainability. So what are the characteristics of sustainability? Cultural acceptability. So not to violate certain cultural values and norms, and social desirability, so needed by the society, should be needed by the society. Adaptability, it's be open and also be able to fit in any changing environment or part of a system. Implementability, it should be realistic, technically feasible and attainable, and above all, should be implementable. Scalability, so its ability to expand its scope of operation, to increase in size, in volume, quantity, or scope to accommodate and foresee additional components or features of the project. And the other one is manageability. So yes, the project should be manageable. And political expediency. So it's in compliance with government rules and regulations and environmentally robust. So this is a positive impact on the environment. Dimensions of project sustainability. So here, equitable sharing of project benefits. Equitable, equity, so it's from gender and human rights aspects. So having equal access to education and or the right to have equal access to resources. And the second one is institutional stability. So this includes policies, laws, constitutions, local management structure, and also processes, procedures, mobilization, organization. So these all reflect on good governance. The other one is continued operation and maintenance of project facilities. So this highlights acceptance of the project, willingness to maintain with sense of responsibility and local ownership, and environmental stability. So in Bright context, not just natural or ecosystems such as land, water, air, but also to maintain peace in the conflict zone. So project cannot control political complication, but important to consider conflict sensitive education activities so that it will still operate even in the conflict time area. And setting goals of sustainability. These are just few examples. So local ownership. So what Bright will do so that local ownership is there? Maybe to integrate into the community, to be accepted and well used by the community, and also to institutionalize into local system and to make it part of a larger network of services and resources. And the other one is a partnership. So what Bright will do to build and maintain or enhance existing relationship. And then advocacy. So How Bright will work on advocacy so that we will gain full recognition and support of local government or duty bearers. So strategies to sustainability. Here, project program visibility. So for example, for project visibility, let us question ourselves. So how do we promote the project to our stakeholders? And what social marketing strategies will be developed? And for community involvement, so what specific consultations and collaborations do we plan to do with Bright? And how are we going to ensure that community and stakeholders get involved from the start of the project? For example, started from planning, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation. And point number 3, create a diverse base for project program funding and support. So how do we build capacities and resources of even the poorest communities, and not just do a dole-out project, which will do them more harm than good? So number 4 is promote systems change and improvement. So make sure that people understand how the current system works and why change and improvement is needed, and propose your realistic changes and the benefits of change. And building relationship through good communication, trust, and commitment. And the other one is project program flexibility. This is also very important. So we should be open to new ideas, be able to accommodate change and rethinking, and also focus on project objectives rather than output. So this is result-based management approach. So who is responsible for project sustainability? Project team, beneficiaries or clients, community members, project and tribal administration, and project donors. So gaining support from project team. The first thing is commitment. So commitment to comprehensive planning, commitment to program evaluation, and commitment to program relevance and flexibility. Of course, we should not just focus on what to receive from the project team. We also have to see what we can give back to them. So maybe team building will help, and also staff capacity building training. And also gaining support from beneficiaries. So cooperation with new system, use of the new system, and involvement in the process, and social marketing. And gaining support from community members. So all types of support we need to gain from community members. Acceptance of the new system, community mobilization, and social marketing. And gaining support from project and tribal administration here. Support for comprehensive planning, support for program evaluation, and support for flexible implementation and documentation and data. And support from donors. So continue funding, cooperation and assistance, support for flexible implementation, yes, and documentation, accountability, protocols, policies, and procedures. Here, let's see Bright values for sustainability. So what kind of values Bright will be inserted for sustainability? So the first one is local ownership. So these are just example and what I've seen in the proposal, but we can add more if we have. So project will apply community-led approach, capitalizing on community's interest, and also willingness to participate and support. So here is a quote from GAC. It says, "When beneficiaries and intermediaries are fully engaged in the design, implementation, and monitoring, including data collection of a project, the expected outcomes are more likely to be achieved in a sustainable fashion." So it's in a result-based management guide from GAC. And partnership. So this is for pooling resources together and complement each other. So service providers must be willing to work together. Now we have so many technical partners like Salanga, Adra Norway, and also Sick Kids, and also some other local technical service providers. So we should be willing to work together. And advocacy. This is for good government support and relationship and innovation. So evidence-based and innovative approach such as TEAS, Accelerated Learning Program, community-led monitoring, evaluation, and learning approaches. So these are the innovations. And integration. So it's gender-based and right-based approach. So right-based approach. So to be familiar with the terms here, when we talk about the right-based, the stakeholders, there are new ways or new terms that we have learned. So duty bearers, right holders, responsibility holders. So here duty bearers. Who are duty bearers and what does it mean? So duty bearers are state actors who have legal obligations to respect, protect, and fulfill human rights. And there are those actors who have a particular obligation or responsibility to respect, promote, and realize human rights and to abstain from human rights violations. So the term is most commonly used to refer to state actors, but non-state actors can also be considered as duty bearers. So who are duty bearers here? Like a ministry, national, provincial, or local government entities. They are all duty bearers. Right holders. Who are right holders? So all people. Right holders are all people. Everyone has their own right, right? So responsibility holders are actors who have or could have a positive or negative influence on the human rights issue and their consideration on those responsible for human rights violations, as well as on rights holders and duty bearers' capacity. So responsibility holders include, but are not limited to, parents, private sector, religious leaders, educators, community elders, social movements, NGOs, the media, academic institutions, embassies, neighboring countries, donors or international agencies, including the United Nations. So here the practical homework for us or for you is to identify who these various groups are in your own context, and we need to connect with them. So we have to identify. And also, it's really important that we connect with the national human rights institutions, NHRIS, national human rights institutions in our own or in your own respective country. So here, bright sustainability plan. So we have to have a bright sustainability plan, and that should be included in the project implementation plan, the PIP. So what we have to do, we need to set goals. We have to come up with strategies and then activities and monitoring plan and reporting. So all these things should be included in the sustainability plan. Later on, I will be providing you with a template for you as a guide. So these are references that I use for these slides. Thank you.